I'm excited to have a conversation with you because, as you've already heard, I'm sure we have we are using AI bots to engage with the audience and provide 30 days of pro tips and helpful links and information. Like you get one tip a day for the next 30 days after the event, getting invited to mastermind events that are more intimate and able to utilize and make use of real AI in your business and your personal life. So that event is next week. But I'm really curious to know if you want to take we'll jump right in because we have limited time. And I want to, there's a lot of questions I have for you. But would love to know a little bit about you and what you do.
Sure. Well, my name is Ryan. I live in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, and that is the opposite of the tech world, I guess, pre-pandemic, although a lot of folks from the West Coast have moved out here. But I was working in chatbots long before ChatGPT. They just weren't as smart as ChatGPT, LLM-powered bots, focused on restaurants at first. I created an application called Tap the Table. And so this was really successful, surprisingly, when COVID hit with all the contactless menus and online ordering. And in my area, there's a lot of retired folks. And an island of 12 miles in length, luxury island at 250 restaurants. It was a really, I was the only fish in the pond, basically, because they call it the low country because of sea level, but it is the slow country when it comes to technology. And so, I kind of got lucky in a way and unlucky in another way with the software and Tap the Table because it kind of depended on people moving around, tapping tables originally. And so the big pivot had to be, well, how do we get people into the system, the database? And we ended up utilizing messenger chatbots. And that's where we got our start with AI and automation all the way back in 2020.
That's awesome. Nice. You said messenger chatbots like Facebook Messenger?
Yeah. So really the first, I think, widely used chatbot ecosystem was coming from Facebook Messenger. They were the first API that was opened for Meta. And I think pre-Messenger marketing days of like 2016, 2017, there just weren't that many websites with the little chatbot bubbles we see today. And so I think that without Messenger, they really don't get a lot of the credit they deserve in the industry, in my opinion. Their API is still the best.
Wow.
So I have a question. So when you're talking about, like, you go to a website and it says, "Can I help you?" Is that what you're talking about? Where you can type in a question, you're talking to a bot.
So that's one form of the bot. Sure. There's many different ways that you could chat with a bot. It could be through Facebook. It could be through Instagram, your website, your telephone, text messaging. I guess, is that what you guys are also doing? If they're texting the number, they're going to get a drip campaign, I'm assuming. It'd be really cool if that's hooked into a knowledge base with ChatGPT so they could ask questions about the event. But yeah, I mean, at this point, everything can be a chatbot, especially when you incorporate QR codes and NFC, which is one of my favorite things to do.
That's correct. Yeah, the AI bot, text bot, it does incorporate ChatGPT, and it's been trained for the past 2 weeks. Awesome. And so we have the information on the speakers. Actually, artificial intelligence asks questions of the speakers. I know you were a late addition. Appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah, no problem.
But it allowed the speakers to answer questions, and it automatically generated bios. And I've had some comments come back like, this is absolutely amazing. And so it's able to incorporate the human touch, ChatGPT, what was trained on, to come up with the text bot. And it's pretty amazing. It's pretty cool.
Very fun.
But Miss Sandy.
Yeah. So what do you see as the future of AI, especially when it comes to the chatbots? Because, let's face it, you know, for years now, we've been listening to, you know, press 1 for this, press 2 for that, and you know, da 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 da. What does that look like with the chatbots? Because it's, you know, as humans, we're a little impatient. We're a little impatient.
You just hit on something amazing. This is what I've seen for well over a year. And while some businesses will still prefer that more controlled conversational route or pathway, press 1 for sales, press 2 for service, the really amazing thing is with the new tools today, especially, you know, following all your laws, when these calls are in fact recorded. Previously, no one's listening to these calls unless they had to get you know, training done or evidence about some scenario. Well, we actually have ChatGPT listen in and record and transcribe and then summarize every single call for businesses. Along with the summarization, you can get unbiased recommendations, and you can also find out some very interesting facts about, like, how many times, no offense to the people out there that are paid to answer phones, you know, person, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to miss calls, and you're not going to necessarily know you missed that call to tell your boss, hey, I missed that call. The AI knows everything. The AI catches all of the things. And so when you're getting a daily report or a in the moment message that says you've got a disgruntled customer, or you've got something you need to look at due to this analyzation in real time, is incredible. And I think basically we could sum it up to this. Number one, every business on this earth is going to need AI in some way, shape, or form. We can probably agree on that. Number two, every business must communicate. So I believe that our goal at Chatbot Builder is to build the best platform for business communication driven by AI.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I was just thinking, you know, when you have a call center, there's so many issues that the supervisors will face. And to have that summary at the end of the day would be priceless.
No, it is. It's not only that. You're if you think about it like this, every conversation can be summarized, right? So then you can have this chronological train of thought. If one conversation can be, is he taking notes over there? One conversation is being analyzed, transcribed. You're getting AI unbiased recommendations or biased recommendations, depending on what your, you know, the way you want your business to be run. And then you can summarize the day's conversation, the week's conversation, have it rolling on a Google sheet or any sort of, you know, any UI that you want, but you could actually know the pulse of your company and have the AI scale on a score, say 1 to 5 of what's the biggest problem to solve of all the contact, the communication we've had. And this is where it all makes sense.
Yeah.
From the phone calls to the messenger, to the Instagram, to the website chat, all these forms of communication, if they're being centralized and analyzed, and then now Karen or Brittany or Robert has their day's assignments based on priorities of the machine, a lot of people are going to look at this as Big Brother and they're going to hate it. The businesses are going to love it because they'll have never been more productive, and they'll never have known that Francine's missed 27 calls on average per week, and that's her job, you know. And so then it's going to be an interesting time to see this shift, and it's going to happen really fast. I think people think it's on like a slowdown moment at this point, but I don't believe that at all.
Well, because just because the public isn't seeing what's being rolled out, you know, doesn't mean that things aren't happening, right?
Once the cat's out of the bag, you can't put it back in. So when people, just like the first wave of people that understood what these LLMs were doing in free ChatGPT programs, using just the API, they knew something was coming. And now that the ability to create things is only limited to your imagination, for the most part, in the ecosystem you're in, it is a really cool time to be in AI. I always thought we'd have something like this, but I'll be 35 this year. I didn't think it would happen until I was 80, where I could just be in Microsoft Word and say, write this. But I literally thought this would happen. And like as a first, second grader, I was like, I hate Microsoft Word 95. I just want to here's my sentence, write my paper, and now it does all that and code.
Yeah, we had someone earlier say that as she's listening to us, she's on LinkedIn. while she's listening to the symposium, she is prompting an LLM. I'm not sure which one she's using to write her business plan.
Oh yeah,
I think we'll see
so much you can do.
And I think we're going to see in our lifetime the integration in tech stack. Which, if you aren't familiar with what a tech stack is, it's layering different technologies to work together to achieve a goal. And so I think that we're going to see a tech stack created so AI will be able to run all aspects of your business to the point you might have a 10, 100, $200 million business plus with only a couple employees. Because
that's
AI is
happening.
going to do everything.
I mean, was it Stable Diffusion? Was it Stable Diffusion or 11 Labs? I mean, some of these companies, I think of Stable Diffusion had 11 employees. I've said since day one, we'll never have more than 10 employees. But you know, but we'll also never have thousands and thousands of unnecessary, heartbreaking layoffs, which are coming.
Yeah. But and that is a real fear of people, and it is a real fear. And I think the one fix that was floated by maybe Elon Musk or someone, I'm not sure who it was. It was going to be universal income because the money's going to be there. And then at that point, it's just a matter of you have to distribute. It's almost socialism at some level. I can't say I agree with it, but it will enable people to have more time to do more things that they enjoy, which is quality of life. Hopefully.
Well, that's the fantasy that will not ever come to fruition. I mean, you're not going to just be able to just give things away, and there's going to be inequalities in the world because that's the way it is. So all this fantasy talk, I don't buy, but it is in fact 100% true that the person that is going after the same job as you are, qualifications aside, the person that's going to utilize AI better will get that job. Because it comes down to the business wants to make money. They don't care about anything else necessarily. They want to make money. And if you're going to be the person using AI to help them make more money, regardless of your position, you're very, very valuable. And right now we're in such an early time. Most people would tell me that I'm wrong in what I see all day long happening with our many, what I don't call them customers. We call them co-creators around the world, building solutions that I'm constantly amazed at the creativity that people have. That's the most exciting part about this is we're living in a time where before, if you wanted to do something cool in code, you really needed to know a lot of math and you really needed to do a lot of studying. So not just you can pick up a code book and then run with it. But if you're creative and you've always wanted to build that app, it's been getting easier and easier and easier with the no code tools. And now that idea of I just want the Word document essay to be spun, the same thing is happening with websites and applications and soon full-fledged programs. And so you'll only be limited by your creativity. That goes along with application design, website design, other artist work as far as photography or paintings or I guess the medium verbiage and vernacular matter, but art in itself, what I'd want hanging on my wall, a photo that was AI generated versus a photographer out there in the world that I didn't follow. It was a beautiful picture. When you can't tell the difference, I mean, that we're there, you know.
It entirely. And I have to say that I don't think the massive layoffs and no one's going to be working. People are going to be working. It's just we are in the fourth revolution, industrial revolution that started back in the mid 90s, and it's a couple decades old. That really began with the invent of the internet, and AI has been around for decades. It's evolving at a very rapid pace, exponentially, or it's a hockey stick effect, right? You don't see anything. It's all on the surface. It's all coding. Then all of a sudden you have the use of that coding, the application of that coding, and we're starting to see the upward swing of that hockey stick effect, where you're going to see an explosion of new technology, an explosion of tech stacks, an explosion of the applications and use of AI. But I do believe that where you used to have a copywriter or someone sitting there and generating image or doing using maybe Adobe Illustrator or generating some images or a script or copies, now it's going to be how do you prompt? I love your hat. We had a speaker, someone comment earlier, an audience member comment earlier that they love your hat, they want it.
Awesome.
it's going to be, how do you write that prompt in such a way that it gives you the results that you want? And that's where the value is going to be, is understanding, maybe not having a narrow focus, but having a very broad view and being open to change. And that is part of what this event is all about, is educating people and getting and helping folks to understand how they can be a part of that change, how they can get plugged in, how they can take advantage of AI, how they can learn AI. If they hate it, love it, it doesn't matter. It's here to stay. So you might as well use it and help steer the conversation and make it work for you.
I think that you nailed a lot of the points there. I think, outside of government regulations, the thing that is going to be make or break for businesses is going to be the how fast do they adopt. And the larger the business, the more difficult it can become, especially when you've got, internal attorneys and lawyers telling you all this and that. Imagine this. And if any of you have used ChatGPT in any sort of way that you've used Google or any search engine in your whole life, I'm 100% positive that there are some regretful searches that we've all made on Google, whether it was intentional or unintentional. You ended up searching something you wish that didn't happen. Well, what happens when your employer says, okay, well, no one here is going to be able to use it. We're going to block the connection. We're not going to deal with this because we're too concerned about our little ideas being spun out there somewhere. And so now, in that being safe, you've got attorneys and lawyers saying, okay, we need to know exactly every single prompt that you were providing, that LLM, this LLM, all the things to get this result. And that's red tape. That's a big problem that the big companies have to face, that the smaller startups don't. But the thing that we've all got to be cognizant of is this tech is so new. AI is not new, but large language models, as we know them today, are so new that, even the people that have worked at these companies like Google have their freak out moments where they think this stuff is going to be more than just a computer.
Well, I thought I had heard, I believe it was on Joe Rogan podcast, because he's been having a lot of people on, and they talk a lot about AI and the future of it. But I believe that, like, some of these larger companies, to your point, they don't want their employees using ChatGPT because their trade secrets or whatnot could be getting out there. And now there's services that will create an internal ChatGPT, so to speak. A
local service.
Yeah,
right.
But it's only for that company, so that anything that you're talking about is not going to go out on the internet. It's not, nobody else is going to have access to it. Could you explain how that works a little bit? Because I'm clueless. Because I thought that, like, ChatGPT is basically surfing the internet and just pulling all of this information, right? So how would it be if an organization has their own AI?
Totally. So
how does it work?
If you're hosting on a local server and you're still using the infrastructure, like an OpenAI enterprise account will provide, I think they start around $100,000 a year for these accounts. It's not like the business pro thing you can sign up on their website. It's an enterprise level deal. They claim to have your own black box somewhere separate from everyone else, where it won't be, and it's gonna just be stuck in one spot. Is the best place I can say it. I think they've already announced this year the next gen kind of thing that we'll have in the new iPhone, and then all of the next year, the ability to run a ChatGPT like scenario without the internet. That's your safest. That's your absolute safest way to run something, either in your own network, local network, or offline. And we're already getting there. And I thought about this, a year ago. I don't know how much longer. I think we're about to see a big bubble burst, a huge AI bubble burst, where you've got a lot of wrappers out there that, when I say that, I mean programs wrapped around these APIs that go bust. They have all this investment, and it ends up, this writing tool that had $150 million investment and all these people want their money back. Well, now how are they going to compete with a free ChatGPT account? So now this company is just going to what are they worthless now? I think we're going to see a lot of this, and I think in the short term we'll see like the PDF chat guy, the first person who made the tool that chat with a PDF before OpenAI themselves brought it. I mean, this dude was making like $500,000 to $800,000 a month in like 60 days or something crazy like that. And then the next thing you know, there's 60 of those tools, and then there's hundreds of those tools. And then whenever the development team of company XYZ comes out with their product, bam, here's OpenAI here's your internal feature now, back to the drawing board. So it's an interesting thing that we're going to see between the models, between Gemini, Claude, Meta, and OpenAI shooting themselves in the foot in certain cases by pissing off the developers that really pay the bills. Like I can promise you, I pay more to OpenAI than my entire neighborhood, if not county. Myself. It's a different customer.
Sure.
And I think that at the end of the day, what we want as developers, we want something that's quality, fast, reliable, and affordable. That's really all we care about. So like I have no affiliation or real like love for more, the big three. Whatever one is working the best is my favorite at that moment in time.
Yeah. So when back to what you said, you think the bubble's going to burst. Are you referring to what like similar? And I don't even know if you were even born yet in 2003. But back in 2003, you had the .com burst, the bubble that burst then, which was, I'm in the DC metro area, and a lot of the tech companies that are here were drastically affected by that. Are you talking about that type of thing?
Exactly. I'm talking about misplaced, misguided investment into technology that is rapidly evolving. So by the time that investor would think about getting a return, that product or that entire service is already zapped and gone. That's how fast things are moving now. And so we are self-funded, which I think is going to be more common as we go. We don't need any funding from anyone. All we need is our co-creators to remain happy and grow organically when we spend a little bit of money here and there on ads. But I think that we're going to see a big tilt. If we can agree, I think most people will agree with me here, if we can agree that social media help level the playing field between the big corporate giants and the mom and pop restaurants or hotels or whatever, your businesses, your small businesses versus the big guys, if we can say social media helped give an advantage, a leg up back to the small guy, imagine that calculation times 1,000,000 with AI, because now you've got teams of 5, 10 people that can absolutely smoke teams of 500 people with millions of dollars versus nothing. And it's happening fast.
Yeah. Every time we make a big technological leap forward, and I'm not even just talking about the coding and AI. I mean, it could be go back to the Green Revolution of I think it was the 1800s, when they went from having machines to help farm to the Industrial Revolution and the production lines and again, all the way up to the current AI situation and what happened with the .com bubble, the advent of the internet. Anytime you have a rapid increase of anything, you will have a bubble that follows. I think you're spot on. I never really thought about like that, but I think you're right. I think there is a bubble that's created, but I think that it's scary how fast technology is being developed and what that means. I use AI in my own businesses, and it has saved me thousands upon thousands of dollars. And what I used to be able to do with a team of 5, we can 10x it with production and social media content creation and copy and white papers and you name it. It's just moving faster. And so the challenge is going to be using technology effectively to get your message out even more. So you're the one creating the noise to bring attention back to that business or yourself, if you're an influencer or whatever your game is. Have you heard of, quick question for you, have you heard of Apple Intelligence? What is your take on Apple Intelligence?
I think that Apple's always had some of the best AI in the game of technology from day one, regardless of LLMs. I think they did the smart thing by not invest it. They stick at, or at least they're trying to stick at what they're good at. I guess their car project was a massive secret, not so secret failure, but they should stay in their lane. And I don't think they don't have a shot at competing with Google or Microsoft / OpenAI at this point, if they've not put something out yet. Now, with these ChatGPT deals, I think that's the only thing that'll save ChatGPT personally. I see them just falling apart completely in the next 8 months if they don't shape up. And so that's why they're, number one, asking for $8 trillion. And number two, they're trying to partner up with all these companies in Hollywood and all these places that have been wanting to sue them, and probably deservingly so. I think we'll remember OpenAI as a company that opened up the gates, and then a year from now, they're going to be long and forgotten unless they can sink their teeth in enough deals. Sorry, Sam.
I have to say that the newest version of Claude is
gangster.
From what I hear, way better than ChatGPT 4.0. Or what are that? The latest version.
That stands for GPT-4 overpriced, Sam. Overpriced and underdeliver.
But the ratings, which is all based on a percentage, right? They have a benchmark, and then you have the percentages of ratings as far as their knowledge and how accurate their answers being returned are. Claude's ratings are, I think, smoking, in your terms, every other large language model out there right now.
I think they're also the most expensive too, though.
But I think they just dropped this. When did the latest Claude LLM come out?
Yesterday or the day before. Mm-hmm.
And it's already making waves. And you talk about speed of technology and how things are evolving that fast. I heard about it, saw the rankings, heard the reviews on it, and you're right. It just happened yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It is happening lightning fast. And it's almost head spinning to try to keep up with all the different technology, all the different apps. So we have a few minutes left. What is your favorite? So if you're a small business owner with $100 or just not a whole lot of money to spend, you're trying to get customers. What is your favorite tech stack, and what's your piece of advice you'd give them?
Well, our software is $49 a month, and so of course I'm going to implement my own software straight up. I think it's a no-brainer. To me, it's just if you're a small business or a medium-sized business, there's not going to be a better tool for business communication. So if you're not afraid of unbiased recommendations from your own AI system that only you see, this is the way to go. I mean, why? The better question than this is why I never have a problem with sales, fortunately. Why wouldn't you want your customer to get the best possible service that they could possibly have? Because you can only have so many community managers. You can only have so many phone receptionists. You can only have so many people that are always happy and perky and perfect with their responses. You don't even want me to respond to your support request. I built the entire system because you'll probably not like my answer, but you will love my chatbot's answer because I've trained it to be nice all the time, no matter what, as well as give the correct information. So my question is, why wouldn't a business want, number one, all of their customers to be acknowledged on social media to build the list? Like, to me, the comment to customer, which was the whole thing that got me into chatbots, shout out to Kelly, turning that comment to a customer via collecting their email address in the DMs, automatically sending that email to get the, come on in, get the half off thing, whatever. This has been the name of the game for me for a long time. And I think that every business is now going to really wake up to it, because in the past, while we've been able to build cool things with tech stacks, it's been nothing like we've got with LLMs today. So where businesses and other people have been turned off by what I call dumb chatbots, pre-LLMs, now they're not going to be able to tell the difference between that and a person. So obviously that would be my answer for that question. Self-plug. Shameless.
No worries. Sounds good. Over to you, Sandy.
Yeah, I think what you're doing is absolutely incredible. is there, from your perspective, because we really haven't heard a whole lot about what's the U.S. government doing about this? Is there doing anything from your perspective?
Clueless.
Right.
Are
there things that you're seeing right now that we need to have in place?
I think that the best move that made, and a lot of my customers, our people are going to be mad at me for saying this. They've got to not let outbound phone calls be ran with AI audio. This is a huge thing. I mean, I've done YouTube videos where I've had phone conversations with AI, Cat Williams, Snoop Dogg, Scarface, with their voices on the phone, and it is them, guys, and it's too much. I think that the deep fake stuff that is so prevalent now, that, you know, some people, you could say, oh, that's so fake. You could totally see that's not real. Well, even right now, your neighbor across the street from you might not be as savvy as you, and they absolutely might think this person is saying something that they've not said, or have done something they have not done that is on a video or an audio clip. And this is extremely dangerous stuff here. I think that should totally be outlawed. Inbound calls are one thing. If you want to have a crazy, fun inbound AI, cool. But outbound stuff, I mean, I don't even answer my phone half the time because it's a robocall crap. And I hope that bad actors and people with bad intentions don't make headlines first with this stuff, more than all the good that it is doing, because it is doing so much good in our groups. We just see so much positive things happen. But I've been speaking with congressmen and senators here in South Carolina, where I live, and these are not. It's not that we're all dumb rednecks down here. These are actually smart dudes, lawyers, very intelligent people. But the first time I showed a senator what ChatGPT was, and we had a meeting at Starbucks. This was the craziest thing. I didn't even know the guy's policies, but I said, "What are your strongest points that you would talk about at any time that people, your supporters, would go after?" And so he told me the points. And I said, "Okay, on my phone now." And I said, "Write a speech about point 1, 2, and 3 in the tone of Senator blankety blank, and make it extremely powerful, and use a lot of words he's known for," which I've never even I couldn't recall a single speech. Well, when I showed it to him, his jaw hit the freaking table. And then I was like, "But wait, there's more, okay? Are you ready? And this is why you got to listen." I said, "Now take that same idea, and remember that Senator so-and-so has now reversed all 3 of his opinions on these points and no longer believes in these things. And so now give a speech explaining why he's changed his position on all 3 things in the most believable, emotional, empathetic way that everyone understands." I'm telling you what, you can convince somebody a lot of things with this stuff we've got called language.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And we had our first, what I believe, because it was on national news, where there was a principal, a disgruntled teacher did a fake thing, and the principal got fired, and all this stuff, and he used AI to record the guy's voice, because it sounded like him, and so it's it's a criminal case, and it's terrible.
Wow.
There's no precedent either.
No, there is no precedent. That's what I'm saying. That's probably one of the first precedents that we now have in our justice system.
It's going to be we're in the pre, okay, I think we're in the days of like 2008, 2009, right before the social media management agency deal took off, and that was a world I played in the very beginning. I think it's that times 1,000, and there are a lot of people making a lot of money right now. There are a lot of people that are probably already getting scammed right now, and we don't know about it yet. And
right.
I think the outbound stuff is the most dangerous to me. I believe that should be totally outlawed. And the deep fake videos, I think, are going to be no one's going to believe anything anymore. I think everyone's skeptical of what you should be skeptical, but like now, before, if you saw it, heard it, I see it and I heard it. It was, even if it was a video, you can't never trust that again, ever. That whole life is gone, and people don't realize that. So we're gonna have 2-3 years where we're gonna have so many people completely fooled by people with bad intentions, and it's gonna suck.
I know that I had this conversation with somebody last evening on a plane. I was coming back from Dallas. And I know for me and my family, we're developing a code word if we suspect that it's not real, because we're getting to that point that we'll be getting calls from AI bots, and the technology is evolving so quickly, you won't be able to know that it's not the person you're supposed to be talking to. So we are developing in our family, at least, a code word if we suspect that response, and a question and response, so we understand. I mean, it's
a very smart thing to do,
but that's where we are.
It's good that you're making people aware of that, and it's happening every day, I'm sure. We actually disallowed outbound calls on our system because I need to be able to sleep at night, and I can't. I would not want someone that uses our tool to be on the news for doing something insane. But you got people all over the world using this stuff, and you don't know everyone, and it's tough. So I think the thing is, you don't know what you don't know. The politicians have no idea about anything. What they do is they rely on people to tell them this is what it is, and hopefully they react in the right way. I think I scared this Senator Astro this to death, because I was like literally changing his own mind, and I didn't even read the points. But oops, there's a dog barking there. But
sorry.
No. It's all good. I've got 2 German Shepherds. I'm glad they're being quiet right now.
My dog only barks when the doorbell rings, and I didn't hear that, but maybe he did. So
no, it's all
sorry,
good.
folks.
This has been a lot of fun.
We appreciate you being on. Thank you so much. We're going to bring on the next panel.
Yes, thank you, Ryan.
Thank you so much. We'll definitely be in touch.